But and then I heard about how he got to pick Steven Van Zandt. Somebody told me that he was at home watching the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Steven Van Zandt, I think, was sponsoring the Young Rascals. And his David Chase, he says, I've heard this story. He supposedly told a few people. He's sitting at home and he sees this guy walk across the stage. And in his own way of speaking, Van Zandt has that certain quality about him. And he says, that guy's got to be in the show somehow. And there it is. He turns out to be, Silvio. So, and then you get Tony Sirico, another character, So it was just wonderful how these guys and those three main writers went on to do wonders. Like Mark Weiner did Mad Men, which was a hit, and Terrence Winter did Boardwalk Empire. So these guys, they knew what they were doing, and that to me is the key. Like I'll do a lot of different projects, as long as it's written pretty good.
And speaking of
Trying to
which,
get away from the Goomba, trying to get away from all that Goomba stuff.
well, sure, and that could happen where you kind of get, I don't want to say typecast, but you start to find yourself in these roles. And but I'll tell you, with that being said, too, and I think you may agree with me, is since The Sopranos, it was a great thing and it was a bad thing for the reason of now every mob movie or mob series is compared to The Sopranos. Well, maybe not mob movies, but definitely mob series is always compared to Sopranos, and
Yeah,
that's a tall order, as you know.
and most of the movies are lousy.
Yeah.
They think now because you can make a movie with a phone, obviously, but everybody thinks. But that's why I'll ask somebody. They'll say, I get a spot for you. And I said, well, just send me the script. Let me read it, and please accept you know, my pleasant criticism or constructive criticism, if you don't mind. And inevitably, I said to one guy recently, the first 10 pages you have, excuse my language, but you have maybe 25 fucks in the dialogue. And people don't want to hear that. And they say it once or whatever. Same thing with like let the viewer imagine more than you have to say it like that. Or even a fight scene. Oh, we got this great. You know how hard it is to put on a good fight scene without it being phony. And even they got mob guys like cursing and take care of it. And I use the expression of in The Godfather, Marlon Brando rarely said anything. He would just give a head nod, to one of his associates and say, "You'll take care of that, Frankie, whatever." And maybe the next scene you see the guy's in the hospital with a broken leg. So you can imagine what happened to him. You don't have to do this in writing, but these guys want to do it. But I'm usually a detective, a lawyer. I've been a priest. I'm going to be a funeral director in my next movie. So we'll see.
Full circle. I agree with you because I'm an amateur. Look, I'm an amateur screenwriter, and we just finished the script. It's a mob comedy, but again, I like if you watch. I'm a fan of some of the older cinema, I guess you might say. What you said earlier too, I may not have heard some of those. Definitely heard Alonzo, but I also like you go back to, you know, I like to study people like Charlie Chaplin, Fairbanks, all those people, Hitchcock.
Yeah,
You were scared and you didn't see a drop of blood because it was this, the master of suspense and
yeah,
the nuance about doing things like The Godfather really wasn't violent as you see today. It was the nuances, the way to do things without saying it or showing it.
yeah, yeah. Well, getting Alfred Hitchcock. If you ever want to watch something, watch he being interviewed by. Anyway, the point he makes, he's talking about Psycho, where that famous scene where Janice Lee is getting stabbed in the shower. And initially, it was thought that she would have like a bodysuit on it with blood coming in as she's getting stabbed. The blood would come out, come out. And his point was, he said, no, we'll put the camera at the shower head, and all you see is this hand coming down and a screeching sound, and you see blood. It was in black and white, if I recall. I could be wrong. I don't know. And you see the blood going down the drain. So you get the experience of how horrific it was, and you see this knife, but you don't see anybody stabbing her or. And he was like brilliant, Alfred Hitchcock. When it comes to just the photography.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I like the old black and white guys, black and white film.
one of my favorite movies, Sunset Boulevard, with Gloria Swanson.
Wow, wow, you're too young for that.
Yeah, but that see how people they to me that's art. Now there's still art. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of artists out there among us, but I think sometimes you find that people want to just get something done, make a commercial hit, make a ton of money, and you sacrifice, the interesting part of cinema.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's on this slate coming up, Artie? What can we where can we find you? What's do you have
Well, I've
anything?
done a bunch of films the last couple of years. I did this thing called Mob King. It was, I mean, I thought the movie was okay. I had a pretty good role in it. Most of these things are on Amazon Prime or whatever, or, Tubi. Uh, Family's Feud, Old Man Jackson. These are just movies I've done the last couple of years. There's one called Camp Joy with what do you call it? I'm trying to think. It was Eric Roberts. I did a couple of movies with him. Um, Another one called. It's about 4 or 5 that are going to be in the future. Within the next 6 months. In a couple of weeks, I'm doing a film in North Jersey, and then going to Rhode Island to do a film called Father Figures with some of the people up in Rhode Island. So I'm busy. Not overly busy, but I'm busy, and I do a lot of events. And I'm not on Instagram. I mean, I was at one time, and I said, no, I can't take this. Just too many people knowing too much and make. I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm just on Facebook. People know me. I try to not to burn. My motto is don't burn any bridges, and persevere because I try to be a professional. I try to act professionally, and so I mean, maybe I was brought up that way,
Yeah,
and
great personality.
and
If you don't
so
mind, I remember I met you about a year ago in at the Cutting Room with Tony Darrow's when Tony Darrow was at the Cutting Room in Manhattan, and
yeah,
you had a very nice personality. When I met you, it was like you knew me. So you have a very warm personality.
yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky. I mean, I was brought up a certain way. My father always told me to respect your elders. My mother, she would keep me in place. She was a disciplinarian in the house. You
Great.
know,
Do
I
you
can't
do you?
complain. I've been a lucky guy.
Sorry, Artie. Do you go to any festivals, St. Gennaro, anything coming up? Our Lady Mount Carmel, anything in New York that you go to, or
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I go to film festivals, you mean, or just for the
oh,
pasta and the meatballs?
the Italian American like festivals? You go to any of those?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do. Yeah, yeah. And of course, the San Gennaro Festival, but that's not like this. That can't compare to the way it used to be. Things have changed. But there are a lot of. I'm in North Jersey. It's a lot of festivals here up here in the Passaic County area. A lot of Italian festivals. I get invited to go to them. And film festivals, I'm always going to a film festival. But even there's a lot of film festivals. People seem to be just putting stuff together for the heck of it, or maybe to make a couple of bucks. But I'm around. People invite me, and usually I say yes. And why not? Why not? I'm thankful that I am where I am. My health is hanging in there. I got 6 grandkids, so
They'll
they
keep
keep me
you
going.
young.
They keep, yeah, they keep, they're only within 20 minutes of me. Also, they lean on me pretty good. But I'm lucky. I'm lucky. I had a good childhood. I was a big baseball player. Played for the minors and the Red Sox for a little bit. I'm a Red Sox fan. I know if I'm supposed to say that talking to you, Philly and Yankee fans. But anyway,
There's
I'm
enough
just.
things to argue about in this world. Let's at least be friendly with sports.
But I'll see you along the way. I'm sure.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Artie, you've been wonderful. I appreciate you taking the time to speak to the viewers, and you're one of those guys that I can't wait to speak to again, hopefully in person soon. And I'll keep an eye on all your projects. You got plenty of them coming out, and plenty of them we still have to catch up on. Any last words, maybe for the young guys out there, or young men and women that want to be actors? Any good advice you can give them?
Well, I would say go to classes and study as much as you can. Don't get disappointed. If you get one job out of 20, be happy that you get the one job. Perseverance is the word that everybody uses. And once again, don't burn any bridges because you never know. I tell young people, get involved in some student films. There's some great films coming out of great student filmmakers out of NYU and Columbia and what have you. And you never know where that director is going to end up or one of the writers is going to end up. And they'll remember. So just persevere and hang in there, and you'll find your turn. You catch a break along the way. Just hang in there.
Never give up.
Yeah, that's about it.
Just like our ancestors, they went through a lot more than we could ever imagine.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
As we know about our Italian roots, but Artie,
and they left us with good. They left us with some good recipes too.
That's true too. That's true too. A lot of good gravy and sauce recipes. I'm not going to get into that conversation.
Well, people ask me that question, I say it's whatever my mother called it. That's what it is.
That's a fun debate. But Artie, again, we're going to be able to definitely look you up on IMDb as you said, and check out all those wonderful movies you've been in. And we'll definitely love to have you back. So stay in touch, and we'll see you out there, I'm sure, sometime soon.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Vince, for asking me. And everybody out there, well, how can I pass on what they should be listening to?
Well, it's under Vinny Presents. I should plug myself, right? Vinny Presents.
Yeah, why not? Go right ahead.
So if you haven't subscribed, please do. It's Vinny Presents on YouTube, and you can find me on social media as Vinny from South Philly. And if you ask me where I'm from, then I know your fake account, okay? Because it's Vinny from South Philly. There you go.
Okay, and he'll make an offer that you can't refuse.
You're the man, Artie. I appreciate it. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much. Let's stay in touch, even if it's just a phone call to say hello.
Absolutely, Artie. My pleasure, brother. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.